Hey guys, so I've been playing with .NET a little bit lately, and as a developer, I hate Microsoft as much as the next, but I can see why people really like .NET. And that was a joke. I don't actually hate Microsoft, but I do hate developing on Windows. So we're gonna be using .NET Core for this video. We're just gonna make a simple web API, and yeah, let's get started. Oh, before we get started, the two prerequisites for this tutorial is going to be having the .NET CLI installed, because you can just go to .NET.microsoft.com, go to download and all of that. And also, we're going to be connecting to a Mongo database, so make sure to have that running as well. Let's first check if Mongo is running, and it is. All right, cool. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're just gonna run the command line, .NET new, and then the template that we're gonna use is web API. And I think we need to use the -o flag, I'm not sure. And the directory that we're gonna do is, let's see, we're just gonna make a to-do API. So let's do that. That looks good, so let's wait for that. Everything's good, and all right, let's cd into it. And actually, let's check if there's there's not a git ignore. So let's quickly get a git ignore file. So git ignore.io, and I'm on Linux. This is a .NET ASP.NET Core. I might also use macOS, and we're going to be using VS Code, Visual Studio Code. I think that's all we need. Yeah, that should be it. All right, let's copy that over. Git ignore, and all right, cool. Now we just do a git init to initialize git, and now you have a git repository. All right, so let's just open this up in VS Code, and I'm gonna have to move some windows around once it opens. So let's do that. I'm also gonna do that, and then I need to make another terminal. Oops, that's the wrong one. Man, I haven't been on for a while. I think it's that button. Yeah, let's resize that. All right, cool. I don't need this window or this. Everything's still glowing, so let's make sure we do a initial commit. So git add a git status. That looks right. Initial commits. All right. So let's see. The first thing we're gonna need to do is believe we have to edit our CS proj to add in our dependency package for mongodb, and that will be it'll look like this. So package reference include mongo db.driver, and version is going to be 2.8.0, and it might be a different version for you, but I looked it up for me, and as of today, that's the most recent Mongo driver we need. All right, so we're gonna need a couple of files, but before that, we're gonna make two directories. We're gonna make a what's it called? What's this thing called? All right, models. A models directory, as well as a services directory. then I'm gonna open up everything. Well, not everything, just these three. All right. Let's see, what was the next step? Not that. We also have to edit our startup script, and to make sure that we're gonna include Mongo, right? Nope, that's incorrect. Oh, we have to change app settings to have the connection string. So let's do that. This will be connection strings, and open up curly bracket. And this is just JSON, so it's much easier than XML. I'm gonna call it to-do DB. Let's make a lowercase. So it's gonna be mongodb / localhost at port 27017, and that's the default port for Mongo. If you have it configured at a different port, then you should definitely change that. Okay. Now what? That I don't care about that or that or oh, we should also run .NET restore, and that's gonna what the project package reference start tag that does not match the end. What? Did I do something wrong? Ah. Forgot the closing tag. Alright. Now we can do .NET restore. And this is going to fetch the package of Mongo for us. So then we have the correct IntelliSense. So I think I'm just going to start doing creating the model first, and then we'll figure out where we go from there. So first we need to create a C# file inside of models. So we're going to do touch models, and this is going to be the to-do model. The naming convention for this is just going to be todo.cs, and of course let's open that up. So obviously we're going to be importing mongodb. We're gonna get the bison data type, as well as the serialization for that. Serialization dot attributes, and then the namespace is gonna be to do API dot. No, we're inside of models. And this is a class, public class, and this is a to-do. Alright, so the first thing we want is the ID. So it's just going to be an ID. And we also need the annotation of representation, if I can find it. There it is. Of bson type dot object ID, and that's just for the .NET Entity Framework to translate it to C# as a string. And as all properties in C#, we need a getter and a setter. So the next attribute is just a by bson elements. Oh, I wonder how that's actually pronounced. And this is also going to be a string. So a to-do list, you want, let's see, the name, description, and completed. So let's do that. Name, gets, sets, bson, not constructor. come on, elements, public, string. Do we actually want description? No. Not today. And then a bool for completed. And this is also going to have a get set. So that's going to be it for our to-do model. And then we also need a service so that we could actually talk to our Mongo database. So let's create that. Services, and this is going to be called a to-do. Okay. It's just service, singular. All right, to-do service dot C#. And let's open that up. And we're going to be using the standard library for collections. Generic system.link to-do API dot models, and anything else we need? We also need mongodb dot driver and Microsoft dot extensions dot configuration. All right, let's see if I remember how all this works. So namespace is going to be our directory name, of course. So to-do API, and this is services. And this is also a public class. And this is going to be called to-do service. Open parens again. All right, so we're going to have a private property here. And it's going to be, it's also going to be read-only. It is a Mongo collection. There we go, that one. It's going to be a Mongo collection of our model that we created, which is a to-do. And let's go with the underscore to private naming convention thing. To-dos. All right, let's create our constructor now. So public to-do service, and what does it do? So it takes in the configuration, iConfig, and we're just going to do config. Variable client is going to be our connection, so Mongo clients config dot get connection string, and connection string is whatever we set up. So what did I call it? To do db. So this one right here. To do db. Lowercase b? Yeah, lowercase b. Go away. And we're also gonna get the database from that. So database dot get. That's not it. Yeah, that's right. I went too far. Client dot get database. And the database name is just going to be called, the same thing, I guess. To do db. And to-dos is going to be equal to database dot get collection of to-dos. And let's also make sure we type it. To do here. So that's going to be our constructor for the to-do API. And then now we just need to make sure we add the normal CRUD operations. So let's just quickly go through them. Public list to-do, so that we could list everything. I guess, yeah, so the name of the method is just called get. Return to-dos dot find. There's a lambda here, so let's make sure that we only get to-dos that exist, and then to list to make sure that we return a list. And then this one is going to return a book. Not a book. To do. Where's this coming from? I don't think I'm pressing that. All right. And this is going to be get, where we provided an ID. Yep. Return to-dos dot find where to-do ID equals to ID, and then we'll just do first or default. Let's scroll down to make space. Oh, come on. Public. This one is going to be a create. For create, we need to provide it the actual to-do. Should we call it to-do? Yeah, that's fine. Return to-dos dot, and then this is going to be insert one to-do, return to-do. So this is actually wrong. Come on. Oh yeah, I have Vim enabled. And this is, so we got list, get, create, oh, we need update, which we'll return it to. And update, we're gonna need a string of the ID, as well as, I would personally like a partial, but I guess we'll just do a complete update. So, oh, I guess it's just gonna be void. All right, we'll just, that's fine. To-dos dot replace one, and the lambda in here is gonna be to ID equals to ID, and we're gonna I should probably give this a better name. New to do. Okay, so we have create, updates, read, and we also need delete. And delete is usually void, since we're not returning anything. And this, we can just do only provide the ID. To-dos dot, and this is just going to be delete one. Where the to-do dot ID equals to ID. All right. Oh, there's two. Wow, that's interesting. So just to match my example, I'm gonna change this, oops, to be called remove, and we can also have another function called remove, but instead we're gonna pass in the to-do. What would I call it? Old to-do, I guess. To-dos delete one, where the to-do ID is equal to the old to-do ID. Alright, so there's our service. And now all we need to do is make sure that we inject it into the app. So that would be in the startup, I believe. And let's see, so yeah, so we need to configure our services so that this service is provided. So see the services.add scoped, and we're going to provide the to-do service. Alright, now this is mad because we didn't actually import our to-do service, so let's do that. Using to-do.api.services to-do service. No, actually we don't need that. So let's see. Oh no, I have the wrong formatter for. Alright, I need to do it later. That's fine. 1, 2. Yeah, I have 2 space tabs. Oh, alright, whatever. That's not important. That's just annoying. And then finally, we need to create a controller so that on our interface or our browser that we're going to use, we can actually access our data. So we're going to make a new controller. So touch controllers, and this is going to be called the to-do controller. .C#. And let's make sure I don't mess this up. So, alright, we want the generic type. Stop doing that. What does that even do? We also want our models and our service. And we also want to use .NET, obviously, because that's what we're here to learn. So this is MVC. Even though we're only making a web API, we're still doing an MVC. So namespace, to-do API, controllers, public class, to-do controller, and then make sure we add our dependency injection. So read only. This is a to-do service, and we call this underscore to-do service. All right. So I forgot a step. So our to-do controller actually inherits from the controller base. And we also need to add some annotations to it. So the first one is we route. And I believe this is the defaults, but it's going to go to API/controller, which means that the controller's name is to-do, so it's going to be API/to-dos, and we'll get to this this class. And the next annotation is API controller to tell it that we're actually going to serve up JSON and instead of HTML. All right. We also need our constructor function or method, whatever you want to call it. This is to-do controller. Does this do anything special? Nah. So let's just make sure that our to-do service takes in the to-do service. I'm doing it in the wrong order. So to-do service. Yeah. So this is the type, and then this is the variable name. And this is the assignment to our private variable here. And then finally, all we need to do is create all the API routes. So the first one is going to be a get. And this is going to be pretty simple. So what we're returning is what is called an action result, and I believe that just means it's just JSON, and then it's going to be a list of to-dos. Yep. And we'll just give it the name of get, because the names don't really matter. So yeah, we'll just return to do service dot get. So we're gonna follow this pattern. So it's gonna be annotated by the HTTP method, and then we're gonna return basically our service's method. So we're gonna invoke another method within our methods, if that makes sense. So the next thing is another get, I believe. Yep. Public, and this one we're getting a single action result instead of a list. So let's make sure that we go to /to-do/id, and to do that, we're gonna open up parens here, and we're gonna make sure I don't mistype anything, because it's gonna be length 20. There it is, length 24, and then this is just gonna be name equals get book. And the ID is going to be the ID of the to-do, which we will be able to provide in here, and we can just return to-do service dot gets ID. Come on. Yep. Scroll down to make room. Next is the create route. Yeah. Public action results, and this is another to do, and we're gonna create a to do. Come on. So book to do service dot create to do, and then we have created at route. Let's see, get book new. Oh, don't do that. I mean, that actually is the same thing. But not book. To do dot ID dot to string. All right. So this method is given to us by the base controller, I believe, controller base, either that or ASP.NET MVC. But also, let's go back to this method here, the get specific one. I just realized I missed a step. So instead of returning, like, man, how did I do this? There. We're gonna set it to a variable, and we're gonna check if it exists. So if to do is null, we're gonna return a not found error. Which is always nice. And then otherwise we'll just return the to do. And this is simply if. Alright. So that's the both of the gets and then the creates. So we need update and delete now. So the next one is update is usually a put, right? Yeah. So this one is gonna follow the same idea. So we're gonna give it an ID with a length of 24, and let's see. Oh, I guess we don't have to provide the name. All right, that's fine. So why does this do I actual result? Oh, well, let's get to it when we get there. So update, we get the string ID, and we also get the to-do, and it's going to be called new to-do. So in our update, we're going to, let's see, to-do service dot get ID, and then check if it exists. Update, not found. Come on. And if it does exist, then we could do an update. ID and new to do. And we'll just return no content because it doesn't actually give us anything back. And finally, delete is going to follow the same pattern. HTTP deletes. We also need to provide the ID. Public. And the type is going to be the same, so the interface of action results. And this one's just going to be called delete, where we provide the ID. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to find the to-do first. Get. And if it exists, or if it doesn't exist, we'll return not found. Otherwise, we'll perform the action. And this is remove, I believe. And we're to return no content. There it is. Come on. Alright, so we have officially coded a .NET API. All we need to do now is test it. So I'm just going to run .NET run here. And while that's happening, let's go into our other workspace and open up Postman. And I'm going to take a swig of this. Alright, then I get rid of this window, and it's going to be serving on HTTPS, so we should definitely edit our preferences to turn off SSL certification because we don't have an SSL certificate. And also, while we're here, we're going to also change it to dark theme for obvious reasons. So let's open up a thing. Request. No, how did I do this? Oh, right, plus. Duh. Alright, so let's go to https://localhost at ports. What port is this? 5001. And we /API/to-do. And there it is. We have an empty thing. Can I make this bigger? All right. Now let's actually make some stuff. So I'm gonna just do a post. We're gonna be sending JSON. Why is everything big except for the text? That's weird. All right, whatever. So see, ID is gonna be provided, and we just need name, right? What does our model even look like? So name and completed. Name. Let's do something easy. Make videos. Completed. False. So send. And if we scroll down, there's our newly created to do. If we do a get, we have a list now of all of our to-dos. And then now, if we go to this exact ID, so /to-do/ID, we'll get the specific one, and it also means that we can also update. So let's change this to a put request. I'm gonna get rid of name to see if this actually just replaced or it actually updates. So let's do completed equals true. Internal server, yep. So I actually have to provide name. All right, make videos. So I really wish I could just ignore that, but that's okay. So yeah. Internal server, why? What does it say? Developer page, Oh, the update is no content. So maybe if we just go back to a get. Huh, that's weird. So yeah, if we do a put, we're going to /ID, which it should be. And send. That's weird. Well, let's see if we can delete it. Yep, the delete works. And the send or the update doesn't. So I wonder what is wrong. So get is working correctly. If no, to do service.id update. Update looks right. Replace one, where the found to do is equal to the ID, and then not sure. It looks correct. So good news. I found out that the code is correct. The problem is actually what we're submitting. So this creates a server error because we are not providing an ID, which we have to do. And of course, this ID has to match this ID, so that's the thing. But as you can see, we're getting nothing back, which is correct for our case. But if we change completed to true, and we just do a normal get here, it is updated. And just to make it much more clear, I'll just do updated and send it to the put. And just do a get here. And as you can see, the name also changed. So the code is correct. It's probably not the most efficient web API, but it is a start, and it's a nice little getting started to do application to get your feet wet with C# and .NET or .NET Core. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. All right, let's kill the server.